and welcome back to Mr. Story Channel. Today, I'll tell you a heartwarming story called The Little Boy's Lunch, The Miracle of 5 Loaves and 2 Fish. It's a story about faith, sharing, and how even the smallest act can become something amazing in God's hands. It was a bright, sunny morning near the Sea of Galilee. People were walking, running, and climbing up a big green hill. Word had spread. Jesus is here. Jesus is teaching. Mothers carried their children. Fishermen left their nets behind. Farmers came from the fields. Everyone wanted to see and hear Jesus. At the top of the hill, Jesus sat with his disciples. The crowd was huge, thousands of people, and all of them were listening carefully to his words. He spoke about love, forgiveness, kindness, and how God cares for each of us, no matter how small we are. In that crowd, there was one small boy. He wore a simple tunic and carried a little basket. Inside it were 5 small loaves of bread and 2 dried fish, his lunch. He had no idea that his small lunch was about to become a miracle remembered forever. As the day went on, the sun climbed high. The people listened and listened. But by afternoon, they started to feel hungry. Children began to fidget. Mothers looked worried. Even the disciples whispered to Jesus, "Teacher, it's getting late. Everyone is hungry. Should we send them home to find food?" Jesus looked at the crowd with kindness. He didn't want to send them away. So he said something surprising. "You give them something to eat." The disciples were shocked. "But Lord, we don't have enough food. It would take months of wages to feed everyone." Just then, Andrew, one of the disciples, spoke up. "There's a boy here. He has 5 loaves and 2 fish. But what is that for so many people?" The boy looked down at his basket, then up at Jesus. Jesus smiled gently at him, the kind of smile that makes your heart feel safe. The little boy stepped forward, holding out his basket with both hands. His voice was small, but his heart was big. "You can have my lunch, Jesus." The disciples looked at him with surprise. He didn't have much, just 5 pieces of barley bread, small, round loaves, and 2 small fish, probably dried or roasted. But he gave it all. Jesus took the basket and looked up toward heaven. He thanked God. Then he began to break the bread. He handed pieces to his disciples, and they started passing them to the people. And then something incredible happened. As the disciples handed out the bread, it didn't run out. They gave some to the first row, then the next, and then the next, and still more bread appeared. The fish, too, small pieces that somehow multiplied until everyone had enough. People started smiling, children laughed. Mothers clapped their hands. The crowd couldn't believe it. Thousands of people, maybe more than 5,000, were eating until they were full. And when everyone had finished, Jesus said, "Gather up the leftovers so nothing is wasted." The disciples collected 12 baskets full of leftover bread and fish from one small lunch. As the sun began to set, people slowly went home, full, happy, and amazed. The boy stood near Jesus, holding his now empty basket. Jesus looked at him and said softly, "Thank you for trusting me." The boy smiled, shy but proud. He realized something wonderful. When you give what you have to Jesus, he can turn it into something extraordinary. It doesn't matter how small your gift seems, your time, your kindness, your faith. When you trust Jesus and offer it to Him, He can multiply it beyond what you can imagine.